Saharef
Yes.
Prabhu, where are you from, Prabhu? Actually, before I will start, which part of Africa? Sanika Prabhu, where are you from? Which part of Africa?
Okay, I'm presently in Nigeria, West Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria. Okay, West Africa.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
from Ghana.
From Ghana.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I was in Ghana. Have you met?
I think when you were in Ghana, I wasn't there.
You were not there. I was twice in Ghana.
Okay. I'm at the moment speaking with you from the US.
You are in Accra?
In the US?
Are you in US? But now in Ghana, you are in Accra, or where are you now?
No, I'm currently in the US.
You are currently in the US. I see.
Yeah.
So what I remember.
But I am from Accra.
Okay, Medasi.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I remember two words, Medasi and Obruni.
Yeah. So, Brittany.
Oh,
We were doing Harinam, and
Yeah.
we went to villages, I was staying in, how is it called? Agona Svedru. And
Yes.
we were going through the villages there for Harinam. And then when we came back, the son of one devotee, what was his name, that devotee? He's the son of a chief, and chief is also a devotee, Nasimha Purana.
Nishima Purana, yeah.
And his son is the
Yes, his
younger one. The one who he's married, he's having, I think he a daughter or son.
Yeah, I know.
It's a long time,
I think it's Keshi.
No, the other one. His name before initiation, I know him before initiation, his name was Derek.
Yes, Derek and Bill.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think he had son at the time.
Yeah, he was little.
And then when he saw me, he saw first time a white person in his life.
Oh, okay.
He came out of his afternoon nap, and then he saw me and he started to cry and he started to run and screaming. That was a lot of fun. And also Harinam was good. We went for Harinam, and then we went for Harinam, 10 of us, and we came back 70.
Wow.
From so many people from villages were joining,
Yeah.
and dancing, and so, yeah.
Well, so Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept a humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our beloved speaker for today, His Grace TIRTHAKARA Prabhu. And of course, to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees, those who are here, those who may be watching live on YouTube, you are all very much welcome. Today is Monday, the first day of the busy week, and it's 26th. This is going to be the last week in the month of June. And you remember, next week, we're going to have a special occasion where we're going to have the pioneers who started the Hare Krishna movement in West Africa come to share with us how it all started. So please remember, mark your calendars so that you could be here. TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, I think this is the second or the third time you are speaking on this platform.
Second time, yeah.
Second time, right. Okay, so just to refresh how we go here, you're going to be speaking just like in a temple room setting. You were saying you want to make it interactive. Yes, you can do that. And at the end, which is at the end of your lecture, which is between any time from now till like maybe 1 hour time, then the devotees may ask questions, and then we'll bring it to the end. So that is what we do. So thank you so much for being here. And without further ado, we will put the verse on the screen, and you take it over from here. Hare Krishna.
We are reading from Bhagavatam 3:9-14. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we will also Sanskrit word by word and everything. You do like that, everything?
You may do word by word. You may just go straight to the translation, whichever way you want to.
Okay, I will read one time the Sanskrit shloka and then I'll go straight to translation. Is okay?
Okay.
Good. So let me start with Mangalacharan and then we can go ahead.
All right.
Magyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurmitamiena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivda Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kancana Gourangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpadrubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So dear devotees, we are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 9 and shloka number 14, which are Brahma's prayers for creative energy. So when Lord Brahma was born on the lotus flower, he was not really equipped with the knowledge what he should do. So we will read first shloka Sanskrit translation, and then I will read purport different parts, and we can discuss. If you have some questions, you can already start to ask them, and we can even attend those questions right from the beginning. We'll have a little different structure than you are used to. I hope you will enjoy it. You will enjoy spiritual enjoyment. Shashwat Swarupa Mahasaiva Nipita Bheda Mohaya Buddha Dishanaya Namah Parasmai Vishwodbhavas Titilayeshu Nimitta Lila Rasayate Nama Idam Chakrimeshwaraya. Let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his eternal potency. His indistinguishable impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him, who by his pastimes enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Seems like that the Lord is enjoying maintenance, creation, and dissolution too. So, right? So we will get all dissolved at one point, and it looks like it's just the fun for Krishna. So the Supreme Lord is eternally distinguished from the living entities by his internal potency, although he is also understood in his impersonal feature by self-realized intelligence. Devotees of the Lord, therefore, offer all respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. The word rasa is significant herein. The rasa dance is performed by Lord Krishna in the company of cowherd damsels at Vrindavan. And the personality of Godhead, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, is also engaged in rasa enjoyment with his external potency, by which he creates, maintains, and dissolves the entire material manifestation. Indirectly, Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Sri Krishna, who is factually ever engaged in rasa enjoyment with the gopis. As confirmed in the Gopal Tapani Upanishad in the following words, Paradhante so buddhayata gopaveshu me purushah purastat abir badbhuva. The distinction between the Lord and the living entity is definitely experienced when there is sufficient intelligence to understand his internal potency, as distinguished from the external potency by which he makes possible the material manifestation. Another shloka. Let me offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Transcendence, who is eternally distinguished by his internal potency. His indistinguishable impersonal feature is realized by intelligence for self-realization. I offer my obeisances unto him who, by his pastimes, enjoys the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Okay, bros. Now, Shubhara Krishna Prashtabutala Shamad Bhakti Baba Swami Nitinamaya Dwa Guru Charish Krishna Bhakti Amujasmitavana Shachandra Shri Gurava Namaha Shubhara Krishna Prashtabutala Shamad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamaya Namaste Saraswati Deva Gurani Prachani Nirvishesha Shunyamari Pashatare Shatarine. Without the purports of Srila Prabhupada, we will get maybe many other ideas from this shloka, but thanks to Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada so mercifully combine the purports, so we will get much more clear idea what those shlokas in Bhagavatam actually means. So let's go through the purport carefully, and then we can analyze different points, which Srila Prabhupada already highlighted for us. We can expand it on those ideas, because those purports are unlimited. If I will speak on this purport, I will say one angle. Then maybe, okay, I don't know so many Prabhus, but I can see here Sunita, maybe Mataji. She will explain different way. Hari Chakra Prabhu will explain it different way, right? Sahadev Prabhu will explain different way, right? Salika Prabhu, he will say another thing. So if all of us will get the opportunity to speak, we can speak here 15 hours. It will be nice, right? That's actually the dimension of the Lord's energy. It's unlimited, you know. And then, of course, you usually cover the first layer of the Lord's energy is what we perceive here. And that Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here is that Supreme Lord is eternally distinguished from living entities by his internal potency. So although he is also understood in his impersonal feature by self-realized intelligence. What does it mean? Any idea, Prabhus? What does it mean? Self-realized intelligence, that he is realized in his impersonal feature by self-realized intelligence. Any ideas coming to your mind? Who is present here, Prabhus? Can everybody unmute themselves? Is it allowed? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is that the intelligence is the driver of this body, and if someone has to do whatever, he is being guided by the intelligence. But until the intelligence is sharpened by spiritual realization, it may not be possible for such an individual to understand the three features of the Lord, the Brahman, the Paramatma, and the Bhagavan. So by the power of divine knowledge, one may come to the level of understanding the Brahman aspect of the Lord also. That's my speculation.
I would maybe add one more question, and anybody can go for it, right? Is it possible to actually understand some feature of the Supreme Lord by our own power?
It's not. One has to be aided because we are blind, and someone will have to open our eyes,
Yeah.
which is like the spiritual master.
Yeah. Madhuvan Prabhu, what do you think?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. All glory from Prabhu. Sorry, I joined a bit late. Yes, for somebody to like this as stipulated in this text 14, they mentioned that
Madhavan, you're breaking up.
is realized by intelligence has to come in.
Your internet, Madhavan,
But one
Prabhu.
has to speak.
Your internet is breaking up.
Okay, let me off my.
Okay.
Maybe it's going to be better like this. Okay. So I'm referring to this as text 14.
Come closer to your mic, to the phone, that we can hear you better.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna, can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm referring to this text, which stated that. Okay. I'm getting it wrong. They said it's in this distinguishable impersonal features is realized by intelligence for self-realization. So the way I want to see it is that the person who has to take a step, just like Krishna said, if you take a step towards him, he will take 100 steps towards you. So the desire must be there. The desire must be there from the individual soul. And then to get the help that is required.
That's interesting.
So,
Yeah, very nice. Salika Prabhu, any idea on that also? Put your mic on, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving the opportunity to say something. Actually, from that sentence of Srila Prabhupada is wanting us to understand that the impersonalist also sees Krishna not necessarily because they are wrong, but it is the level of their realization.
Yes.
But it is not different from Krishna. It's just seeing Krishna from different perspectives. Because if we go back to Parameti Iti Bhagavan, Aswadi Goswami said, God is realized in three aspects. And Prabhupada is trying to explain that although Krishna is distinguished, is in his original form is Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, but impersonalists also see him as Paramatma. And they are seeing him as Paramatma is not necessarily wrong. It is just that the level of that perception of Krishna. So it is right, but it may not necessarily be the absolute realization of Krishna, but it is also an expression of understanding of Krishna in a particular way.
Yes.
I guess that's what Prabhupada wanting us to understand.
Yes. I can just that I get clear your names. The one who is Hare Krishna Africa. Your name, Prabhuji?
No, I think Sadhu Prabhu is using both.
I see. That confused me because I saw here Sahadeva Dasa with picture. Okay. So Sahadeva Prabhu.
Yes.
Actually, Sahadeva Prabhu, you will be surprised. Srila Prabhupada is writing in Sri Ishopanishad that you can understand impersonal feature of the Lord by your own endeavor. You actually don't need blessing of a guru or blessing of someone else. That feature is accessible if you will endeavor a lot. You can study Vedanta. You can analyze this material world, analyze what is material, what is spiritual. By Sankhya philosophy, is this material? Is this spiritual? Material, okay. Maya, material, spiritual, Maya. And like that, you can come to the point of understanding Aham Brahmasmi, I am spiritual. And then you will start to understand eternal essence of this world, which is also spiritual, right? That's everything in this world is actually all pervading Brahman feature, right? How we as a devotees, how we are, how to say, respecting the impersonal feature of the Lord, Prabhus. Any idea how we are respecting impersonal feature of the Lord as a devotees? How we are worshiping impersonal feature of the Lord? Do we worship impersonal feature of the Lord?
I think we do.
We do. Okay. How? Give some practical advice.
Well, the holy name of the Lord is personal, but at the same time it's impersonal.
That's, I would say, very special category and is definitely personal.
It's personal in the sense that
For those who cannot see person, that it's impersonal, that's for sure.
yeah, because when we call, we are having somebody in our mind's picture, so it's a person, but the word coming out is a word. It's just like we studied the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also a manifestation of the Lord, which is personal, but at the same time is impersonal. That
Yeah,
is
that's
understanding.
a good point. Very good point. Very nice. Yeah, good idea. Any other suggestion, Prabhu, how we can worship impersonal feature of the Lord in this world? As devotees and
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Tribhuvana Prabhuji, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, his personal future we can refer to as vibhukti. Like sometimes we drink water, the taste of water. Krishna says, "I'm the taste of water." You know, like so many other phenomena that we can relate to as Krishna's vibhukti, Krishna's personal future. Hare Krishna.
Yes, very nice, Tribhuvana Prabhuji. Yes, right. When we just look from the window, Prabhus, right? You see the trees, you see the rivers, the mountains, right? Do you see the sun in Africa? You have some sun is coming there on your head in Africa, yeah, right? So sun is the eye of the Lord, right? And then when the night will come, the moon is there. So moon is another eye of the Lord, right? Then maybe the clouds are maybe sometimes described as his hair, sometimes as it's the sunset is described as his clothing, right? So actually there is so many impersonal features. Or when we drink water, as Tribhuvan Prabhuji mentioned, right? These are all impersonal representations of the Lord. And we can also understand him that, for example, Prabhu's in Africa, you have some skill, you know how to do some things, right? Like because today Sahadev Prabhuji and Salika, they organized meetings, so they must have some skill. They must know something. Do you know that actually Krishna is the skill within the human? Okay, you prepare it very nicely, Prabhus. This is Krishna.
Yeah, he said, I'm the ability in man.
Yes, he's the ability in the man, right?
Exactly.
This is impersonal feature of the Lord, right?
Exactly.
Rasoham apsukamtya prabhashmi shasi surayo pranavah sarva vedeshu shabdakhe paurusham shabdakhe, right? Krishna says, I am the sound in the ether. You come out on the street and then you hear all this noise there, cars running. What is that sound? Krishna, right? You come into the nature, you hear the birds chirping. What is this sound? Krishna. Right? Krishna is in everything. So actually, in the beginning, for the neophytes, if you look in the second canto of Bhagavatam, second canto of Bhagavatam is giving the step-by-step guidance how to understand the Lord. And it's starting actually through his impersonal features, right? Because this is the first thing we are in touch with. So many times when we come to the association of devotees, we hear very interesting mantra. Prabhu, this is Maya. This is Maya, Prabhu. This is Maya. This is Maya. Have you heard this? Have you heard this when you are with devotees sometimes? Have you heard that? Right? But is it Krishna conscious philosophy or is it Mayavada philosophy, Prabhus? It's Maya, it's Maya, it's Maya, Maya. Sounds like Mayavada philosophy, right? Because actually, if you look, everything is Krishna. Not that everything is Maya. Right? Our problem is we don't see Krishna there. Then we think, oh, it's Maya, right? But actually, what is very interesting, if you want to understand Krishna, you will have to understand this material world as well. You cannot skip this idea. Did you know that? Because sometimes devotees say, oh, I don't want to have anything with this material world. I am only into spiritual life. Actually, this is Maya. Some devotees may be like Shukadev Goswami, right? They are not connected with this material world. How many we find in Bhagavatam like that? maybe 2, 3, we find whole Bhagavatam, right? But majority devotees, they are interacting with this world. Because once you are in this world, this is like, I don't know, right? I don't know you so good. Maybe Tribhuvanath Prabhu, we will see his face soon, his beautiful lotus face, right? So we will see him. Maybe he will go for a swim, right? In Ghana, you have actually nice sea. I was there, or wherever. Nigeria. Nigeria has also seaside or not? Also, okay, you go to the sea, then you swim in the sea, right? And then you go swim. Salika is there also swimming, next to Tribhuvanath. And then Salika is looking at Tribhuvanath and he's telling him, Tribhuvanath, you are wet. And Tribhuvanath is like, of course I'm wet, I'm in the water. So like that, we are thinking, oh, Prabhu, you are in Maya. We are all in Maya. This is world of Maya. But how we can change that? We will change our vision. You cannot change this world and you cannot escape this world. Actually, if you want to escape this world, listen what is written in Sri Ishopanishad. Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. This is Shloka 11. And then if you look Shloka 14, it goes even more detailed. One should know perfectly the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna and his transcendental name, form, qualities, and pastimes. We agree with that, right, Prabhus? Do you agree? But if you look further, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men, and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge. So actually, to understand Krishna, we have to understand also his energies. Actually, you cannot understand Krishna unless you will understand his energies. And our first contact with Krishna, right, is through his energies. Even if you worship, someone had pictures of a deities here, I saw it, or someone was in a temple and even if you are in touch with the deities, on the level of Kanishtadikari, you are still dealing with external energy of the Lord. Kanishtadikari, he sees the deities as the material form. He doesn't see spiritual element. He sees, oh, he's the wooden doll, wooden representation of the Lord for me, right? So I am learning how, in a personal way, I will behave with him. But he's approaching through the material elements. The spiritual vision will come later. I mean, it should, right? If you will practice properly, it will come the spiritual vision. But Srila Prabhupada is explaining that Kanishtadikaris, neophytes, they see the deities as the material elements. They cannot see spiritual vision. They don't have spiritual vision, right? So since we are surrounded by material energy, rather than to avoid material energy, we have to change our vision and see how is everything connected with Krishna, right? Prapanchikata buddhya harisambandhi vastunaha mumuksubhik patyago varyagam falgu katyate, right? Rupa Goswami says that those what is the next sloka? Anyway, I cannot remember Sanskrit now, but those who are refusing this world based on imperfect knowledge, they don't understand how is everything connected with the Lord, then they are giving up this world and they think this world is false. And Rupa Goswami says that their renunciation, their vairagya is falgu. That means it is false renunciation. It's not real. On the other hand, those who sees everything connected with the Lord, that everything is actually Lord and Lord is his energy and he is present there or directly or indirectly, then they are renouncing not the world, but they are renouncing the mentality. They are giving up the mentality to enjoy this Lord without the Lord. Enjoy this world without the Lord. So then they see actually connected with the Lord, and they can use anything in the Lord service. Therefore, devotee, remember Srila Prabhupada, they told him that they were telling him about some yogi, and this yogi was famous for his renunciation, right? And they said that he is so renounced, Srila Prabhupada, that when someone is giving him money, his hands turns like this. It's like a reflex, you know, like sometimes when you are in some dust area, so you get reflex and you sneeze, right? So he has also reflex. When someone is giving him some money, his hands turns like this. Prabhupada is laughing, said, when someone giving me money, my hand turns like this. Right? Give me more, right? Because as a devotee, we don't have problem. Anyway, Prabhus, you have to eat, you have to live somewhere, right? You have to have a job, you have to maintain your families. How you will do that? Through the material elements. Or you have some other idea? Yeah, you can ask your wives, they will tell you, right? This idea, other idea is good, right? So we are not avoiding material world. We are on the way to understand it actually what is what and how it should be used. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. This world is complete and perfect, right? And the personality of Goddess is complete and perfect. Therefore, this world which is coming from him is complete and perfect also in itself. Whatever produces the complete whole is also complete in itself, and because he is complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains complete balance. So we should not look for imperfections of this world. We should leave, because Prabhupada is explaining the purport to this sloka that if someone sees imperfections in this world, this is because his incomplete understanding of the perfect complete. Once you start to understand how the Lord is present, everything starts to make sense. Absolutely everything, Prabhu. Arjuna had issue. He was thinking, killing is bad. But interesting enough, Krishna told him, well, actually in your case, killing is perfection. So it's not what it is, it's why you are using it, for which purpose. Therefore, elements in this world, there is no need to avoid them. Actually, you cannot avoid them. Therefore, I give this example with Salika and Tribhuvana swimming. Because like you are in this world, you are in the world of Maya. And you are already in it. So you cannot actually cut yourself out of it. This is like when you are swimming together in ocean, and then you look at the other person, you are wet. Yeah, of course we are wet. We are in the water. So of course we are in the world of Maya. We are in Maya. But we can change how we will see this world. We cannot isolate ourselves. Okay, run away, live in the jungle, or live only in the temple, meet you only speak with the pure devotees. That's not our philosophy. We are trying to speak with devotees. That's a best idea, right? But at the same time, we are trying to also include others speaking about Krishna Vida. So this is I was thinking this is one angle how we can see the Lord through impersonal features, because this is already here, so let's utilize it to our best benefit, right? And then actually Salika Prabhu mentioned good point. He mentioned that some impersonalists, they can also realize Paramatma, and that's actually truth. Because yogis can be divided into groups. They can be divided into personalists or impersonalists. And then some yogis, by strict practice of yoga, they can come to the point of seeing Paramatma. But because they have wrong motivation, wrong understanding, then when they see Paramatma, they think, oh, finally I see myself. They think, oh, it's me. They identify with that. Therefore, when they leave the body, they are not going to Vaikuntha. They will go to Brahmajyoti. The yogi who is personalist, when he sees Paramatma, he understands, oh, he is the form of the Supreme Lord. And he starts to meditate on such a Paramatma and worship this Paramatma in his heart. Such a yogi, personalist, is actually non-different from a pure devotee. Some difference is there because devotees, they are focused not just on their spiritual life, but they are also trying to bring others to the lotus feet of the Lord. There is this expansion of consciousness. They understand that others are also particles of the Lord, and they try to bring them to the lotus feet of the Lord. Yogis have more this, you can say, you can use the word selfish, or self-centered. They are maybe not so much concerned for others to. Maybe they can have maybe one or two disciples or something like that. But usually yogis, they were not so much known as a great preachers. And that was not there. So that was my thought on this first sentence, that Supreme Lord is eternally distinguished from the living entities by his internal potency, although he is also understood in his impersonal feature by self-realized intelligence. So if you will endeavor enough, you can actually understand impersonal feature of the Lord by your intellect. That's what sannyasis in Benares were doing when they met with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? They were trying to understand the Lord by their own intellect. Therefore, they didn't like the Lord's idea, dancing and chanting on the streets, because based on the Sankhya philosophy, these emotions which we are experiencing in this world, which they thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing just some another material emotions because he was dancing and crying and laughing, right? This we know, right? People in Africa, they like to dance. Yeah, I was in Ghana, there are big dancers there, right? Maybe Nigeria, better dancers. I don't know. I was not there. Are some other countries also from Africa here? I don't know. Is there? Sadef Prabhu? Any idea?
Yes, we have some devotees from Togo,
Togo, yes.
which is
Okay.
next to Ghana.
Is this also West Africa, everything? Huh?
Yes.
Nice. Right. So maybe also good dancers, And then when we're dancing, we are laughing, right? Some they start to cry, then they are tired and they cannot compete with others to dance anymore. The point is that they were thinking like, well, what you are doing here is you are still just immersed in material energy. What is this emotions here, like crying and laughing? You should be serious. You should sit down and study Vedanta with us. That's what sannyasi should do. Okay? No emotions. Emotions are Maya. You heard that, Prabhus? Okay? Sorry, Prabhu, no laughing. Zip it. It's Maya. Okay? Be careful. I'm joking, but sometimes the devotees, you will get these ideas from their heads. Prabhu, you are too sentimental. That's Maya, right? Why are you laughing so much? Or something like that. Or sometimes you come to devotees that last time in Kirtan, tears were coming from eyes. Prabhu, don't be sentimental. You see from where this idea is coming? The impersonalist sannyasis had this idea. They were telling to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, emotions which you are feeling is Maya, right? So we should not tell to devotees. Maybe if Guru will tell you, that's Maya, okay, then you should be careful. But if the fellow devotee next to you is telling you Maya, maybe he should be careful. Because we are ultimately, want it or not, Prabhus, usually when we don't want that, that means we are still influenced a lot by impersonalism. We are ultimately emotional beings. Because believe it or not, the greatest ultimate emotional being is Krishna. I can prove it. Okay. For example, if Krishna breaks the pot with the yogurt, and then Mother Yashoda finds out, she starts to chase him with a stick in her hand. And Krishna is running for his life. He's super scared. He's running and crying. And then acharyas are completely mesmerized. They think like, how is that possible? Krishna, the fear personified. Prabhu, did you get scared sometimes in your life? Right? In Africa, it can get easy. You go somewhere in the night, you see some rope on the floor, somewhere on the street. You will see, right? You think it's a snake because there are snakes, right? So you get afraid. Yes, Bhakti Yoga is yoga of emotion. Someone is writing some comment. Let me see.
Mitravinda Devi, yeah.
Mitravinda, this is seldom spoken of in the classes. Yes. We will break this point very nicely. Thank you. Right. So acharyas are mesmerized like fear personified. Prabhus, fear personified means that if you will experience fear personified, believe me, Prabhus, and I mean Prabhus, I mean ladies too, you will have to all change your pants because they will be otherwise full of something. If you will meet fear personified, you will literally put something extra in your pants. Okay? Fear personified is afraid of Krishna. That means Krishna it can be so terrible that fear personified is afraid of him. Everybody with me on that? Krishna is afraid of Mother Yashoda. She doesn't look scary. She's actually very beautiful and very sweet devotee. Still, sometimes when she gets upset with Krishna, Krishna is afraid of her. So if Krishna is not ultimate emotional being, then what he is? Why Krishna doesn't stop in the middle of the run and say, hey, wait a second. I am the supreme God. Fear personified is afraid of me, so why am I afraid of you? No, he doesn't do that. See? Right? That means emotions for Krishna are more important than his knowledge. It's more important than his supreme intellect. Because spiritual world, Goloka especially, it's pure emotions, pure spiritual emotions. Right? Levels before Goloka, Vaikuntha like that, there is some mixture of knowledge, right? Aishwarya Bhav. Right? Some understanding. Narayan is the supreme God. He is from him emanates everything, right? Devotees in Goloka didn't know that. Do you know this? When Mother Yashoda, when she looked in the mouth of Krishna, because the cowherd boys, they were telling Krishna was eating mud, right? And Krishna says, this is not true. They lost in the game and they are against me now. So they are lying. Mother Yashoda said, let me see, okay? Open your mouth, Krishna. So sometimes kids, they do this, they eat mud, right? I have pictures of my daughter, if she will not believe that when she will grow. I have pictures, her completely muddy face, when she was trying to taste how the earth tastes, right? So they do this, kids, So Krishna is same. And all kids are same as Krishna, you could say like this. So when Krishna opened his mouth, Mother Yashoda looked inside, she saw the universes. And then there are a few descriptions, there are actually two pastimes when she looked into Krishna's mouth. And one of them, she actually saw herself in one of the universes, having Krishna on her lap and looking into his mouth, and then further and further and further. So when she saw all these amazing things in Lord's mouth, she was thinking, how is this possible? Am I dreaming? And then she tried to sometimes you can pinch yourself, I'm not dreaming. She said, okay, I'm not dreaming. Then maybe I got crazy, right? Sometimes sometimes Prabhus, when you see something unusual, I'm going crazy, right? So she was thinking, am I going crazy? She said, but wait a second, in the morning I was doing everything normal, and why? Because usually you don't get crazy just like that. This has usually some procedure, you know, so you can start to see some signs, or others can start to see it. She said, no, I'm understanding everything well, you know, and I did my duties just recently very good. So I don't think I'm going crazy. Well, then the only reasonable explanation is that my son is Supreme Personality of God. He's not on himself. So there are moments when devotees in Goloka, they are for a little moment, for a while, influenced by Aishwarya Bhav. A little bit. Right? So what Krishna does at this moment, he again covers their, you can say, intellect, he covers by emotions again, right? And then she's like, oh, what is it? What I was thinking? Not important. Krishna, okay, you don't eat that next time, okay? So, and it's gone. So actually, Goloka is about pure spiritual emotions, right? So if you want to understand Krishna, you cannot deny your emotions. You can purify your emotions, and you can, you know, like when you have car, the young boys, they are tuning cars, right? They put something on it in the front, you know, spoiler in the back, you know. So this is called tuning, right? You make it kind of nice more. So what we are doing with our emotions when we are chanting holy name and listening about Krishna, we are tuning up our emotions for Krishna. Because we are what we are. We cannot deny ourselves. We can only connect ourselves with Krishna, but we cannot deny. If you are denying yourself, that means you are impersonalist. And actually, many devotees in Neophyte stage are still very much influenced by impersonalistic ideas. Therefore, we are not also criticizing impersonal ideas. It's okay. You have to just see that it is Krishna who is the origin of it, right? Like drink water. You know, Krishna is so great. He gave me water, right? And you know, he's the taste. So we know Krishna is behind, right? Devotees of the Lord, therefore, offer all respectful obeisances unto the impersonal feature of the Lord. We don't mind impersonal feature. We are not afraid of impersonal feature. We are not scared. We are not hating impersonal feature. We are welcoming it. Because it can remind us Krishna every moment. Because we are still so dull. Our senses are so dull, we cannot perceive directly Krishna's presence as a person. So we are first doing it through impersonal features of the Lord, right? Because we are surrounded all the time. So we can all the time remind ourselves of Krishna. But we are breathing the air, right? What is air? Krishna said, these are smart separated energies, right? Then wife or Prabhu sometimes they cook, right? What is the fire? It's the Krishna's energy. Mumir Apo Nala, right? Mumir Apo Nala Vayu, come, right? Ether, the space. If you can do some sound, that means ether is there, right? Because sound is carried through ether. That's Krishna, right? Earth, we walk on the earth, we grow our food. It's Krishna. Fire, Prabhus, not only cooking. If you eat something, if there is not fire in your stomach, you won't digest. So Krishna is so merciful. He's sitting in your stomach as a fire, digesting your food, helping you digest your food. Because if you don't have fire in your stomach, you can get best food in the world. You will not be nourished. You will actually suffer. Right. So the Lord is He's light. Right. Fire means light actually. Without fire, there is no light. So the sun means actually it's a ball of fire. Right. It's a huge planet full of fire. Makes light and warm. Right. We feel warm sometimes. If there is a little cold, we put fire on. Right. Or if we have fever, sometimes we feel cold, right? Because there is this balance in doshas, in fire in the body, right? You can be always conscious of Krishna, starting with material energies. And there is one more important thing. Word rasa is significant here. You can see that actually Brahma is approaching, is indirect, Prabhupada saying is indirectly. Right. What is it? It says here. Indirectly, Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto Lord Shri Krishna. No. From who is Brahma born? Who is Brahma's father? Huh?
Krishna.
Is it? Are you sure? Father Prabhu?
Yes, his father is Krishna.
Is from Krishna the lotus flower is growing from his stomach?
Yeah, Garbhodaka. Is that Garbhodakashai?
So not Krishna, Garbhodakasha. So
Yeah.
who? Garbhodakasha Vishnu, yes. Garbhodakasha Vishnu is the father of Brahma, right? An interesting Prabhupada says here, Krishna, Brahma is indirectly offering obeisances to Lord Shri Krishna, right? That's what acharyas, when they see rasa, must be connected with rasa lila, right? That's what acharyas immediately see, Krishna behind everything, right? And actually Brahma had vision of Goloka. When he was meditating, because when Brahma was born on a lotus, there was nothing, it was just darkness, and there were big winds which were moving this lotus from side to side, And so he went down and he found this ocean. Then he went again back, he couldn't understand what was going on. Then he heard these words, tapa, tapa, right? And then he understood he should meditate. And in that meditation, which it was around 6 hours of Brahma's time, he actually had vision of the spiritual world and Goloka Vrindavan, right? So definitely there was some attachment. And Brahma sometimes can come to Vrindavan for a short time. It's not that easy to stay in Vrindavan. Like we go to Vrindavan, right? We go to Vrindavan and then we stay a little longer, then we get diarrhea, These are the ways where Krishna is telling us, not yet. You're not ready yet. So Brahma also, right? When he stole cowherd voice from Krishna, he went to Vrindavan and he didn't get diarrhea, but he had to leave. He had to leave. He apologized to Krishna, and what is interesting, Krishna didn't tell him a word. He apologized to Krishna, and Krishna is just standing there. And actually, acharyas are explaining that Krishna was thinking like, why this forehead guy is bothering me? I have my things to do. I have cows and cowherd boys are waiting for me. I mean, can you go? Right? So it's not that easy because Brahma is not in this mood of Brijvasis, but he had opportunity to come there. Sometimes devotees, they can come there for a while to learn. Right? So yeah, Brahma is indirectly offering obeisances to Krishna actually, not to Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, but to Krishna. Although worshipable deity of Brahma is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, actually, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu is expanded on Brahmaloka, and he's worshipped by Brahma there. And of course, he's also lying on the ocean, on Garbhodaka, right? Where is the ocean of Garbhodaka? With the Thakur Murari Prabhu. Where is the Garbhodaka ocean?
Oh, is that Prabhu?
Where is Garbhodaka ocean?
Is it the bottom of the universe?
Yes, very good. Thank you, Thakur Murari Prabhu. Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's there. Yeah. Right. So Lord Garbhodaka Vishnu is lying there. And also he's expanding and living in Brahmaloka, up completely on the top of the lotus. and he's worshipped there by Brahma. Like that, the Lord Brahma is permanently having interaction with the Lord. So by following those great souls, we can, by gradual process, by understanding Lord through his different potencies and energies, start to perceive the Lord also everywhere in our lives. Let's finish here, Prabhu. So at least from my side, I talked enough. And maybe if someone has some questions or comments, we can still continue with our discussion. I have still a few more minutes. So please go ahead.
Well, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much for making this such beautiful interactive discussion. So devotees, if you may have questions, comments, reflections, you may want to ask or share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question or share your reflections. Hare Krishna.
Mitravinda.
Shri Mitravinda, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for this wonderful discussion. I wanted to say thank you for your comment about emotions and this practice. You were speaking earlier regarding, this impression of being staunch and carrying that as a flag of bhakti. Seriousness is actually needed, and focus is needed in anything that is being learned at any level. And that is in order to imbibe the knowledge necessary to actually practice. But the misgiving is that that is an integral part of the practice of bhakti. Emotions to be emotional is seen as weakness. And in many ways, we stifle ourselves or we criticize others for being emotional. But would you please reflect deeper on how this practice is actually rooted in emotions?
Thank you, Mitravenda. You actually pointed out a very good point, that it is not integral part, and I would maybe a little elaborate on that, and then we can go a little deeper in discussion. Because Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, if I remember correctly, is chapter 13 or 14, he's analyzing like what are actually necessary qualifications to practice bhakti, right? And then he's actually analyzing that, is it vairagya and gyan? Like, do we need to be austere or renounced? Or do we need actually some knowledge, even like, imagine, Prabhu, that actually, do we need to understand that we are not this body in order to practice bhakti? And you know what is interesting? Rupa Goswami says there is no need. You can start to practice bhakti and being completely embodied consciousness. You don't need to be first educated that you are not this body in order to practice bhakti. It is helpful to a certain degree also. That's another point. Because if you go too much into gyan, right? Because Krishna is also giving us gyan in Bhagavad Gita. For example, if you look Bhagavad Gita 2:11 up to 2:30, there is not even a word about Krishna. It's pure gyan. Right? Everything is about, we are not this body, the soul is eternal, everything is temporary, right? But Gyan is helpful only to the degree that we can focus on Krishna. Once our focus is diverted from Krishna because of Gyan, then actually Gyan is obstacle. So what, and Rupa Goswami is actually explaining what is actually the reason why you can practice the bhakti. And you know what he says? What is the reason why you can practice the bhakti? That you want. This is the only reason, that you want to do it. Even if you don't understand that you are not this body, even if you are not renounced, right? Let me eat a lot, let me sleep a lot. Come to temples, chant Hare Krishna das. Okay, right? But I have slept till 9 o'clock morning. It's okay. Come here and chant Hare Krishna. Of course, I'm not speaking now about establishing sadhana, mode of goodness, and these things. That's another different discussion. Which sometimes they are mixing these things to get together. Living in a mode of goodness is one thing. Cultivate gyan and vairagya is another thing. So actually, if you look back, the emotional part is the one who is deciding if you want to serve Krishna or not. Because if you want to serve Krishna, you can start right away. You don't need any qualifications. So actually, many times when we are hiding, or you can, yeah, sorry, I'm using this word, but we can present that being emotional is some sort of weakness. I don't know what is interesting. Srila Prabhupada is writing in Krishna book, and it is also mentioned in Bhagavatam in the 87, is it? Prayers of the Vedas personified. I think it's chapter 87, if I remember correctly. Srila Prabhupada is actually mentioning that for devotees in women body, for ladies, is somehow access to Krishna consciousness a bit easier. Can you believe that, Prabhus? No.
Yeah.
Why? Because ladies are usually emotionally a little more open than men. Because men should know, we should not show emotions, right? Because you have to be a man, right? So then when we come to Krishna consciousness, we continue with the same game, which we played before that. We are here 2 weeks chanting Hare Krishna. Be serious, bro. Don't be sentimental. You are chanting 2 weeks, Hari Ball. Don't. And you know what is interesting? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was criticized for laughing and crying. So he was extremely emotional, obviously, at certain moments. Of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also meant that he was very serious. But that's the point. Seriousness. It's you said it, Mitravinda, that this is giving is that we consider the seriousness that means that you are not expressing emotion. No, seriousness is shown that we are seriously following the instruction of spiritual master and our acharyas. That's how seriousness is shown, not that we don't laugh and cry. That's impersonalism. So we should name these things correctly. Seriousness means that we can chant and dance with completely smile on our face. We can have Krishna Katha, which is very blissful and very enlivening, and we feel happy, and we can even smile and laugh during that. We can even have very great feeling during our japa. Actually, Prabhu, to tell you frankly, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that unless you are balanced in your life, and balance means, Prabhu, in a social, economical, emotional, psychological, physical. Physically, you have to be healthy, right? The relationships, unless you are balanced, Krishna is making it a little more, how to say, condensed. But if you expand the idea, right? If you are not balanced, Krishna says, let me read it exactly. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi. And just to remind you, Prabhus, we are all doing bhakti yoga, right? So we are all yogis. Is it true?
Yes.
So Krishna says, there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Why would Krishna be giving advices that we need to mitigate the material pains? What do you think, Prabhus? Why? Why he would bother? We are not his body, huh? Why he bothers? Mitravinda, what do you think? Is she here?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm here. Please repeat that question.
Yeah, what do you think? Why would Krishna be stressing that we should live balanced life? Why we should remove the troubles in our life?
Because they distract us from the path of bhakti. They distract us from
Exactly.
being able to focus on Krishna.
Absolutely. If you are always disturbed by something, right? You quarrel with your wife every day. Then you come and you sit in morning. You becoming big sadhu, right? From 6 to 8 or whatever, or from 5 to 7, right? What you are singing, what you are thinking when you are chanting then? You thinking of Krishna? Huh? No, of course not. You think, right? What you were discussing yesterday with your wife? Why you had quarrel for this stupid small thing or like that, right? That's where 2 hours you are roaming this thing there, right? So if you're not living balanced life, you will not be able to focus on Krishna. Right? Devotees sometimes coming to me because I also.
Wait, but let's not promote divorce.
No, of course not. That means this is disbalance. Look, you have met someone in this life for a reason. And Prabhu's, let's admit it, that reason is that we should work on ourselves, right? And actually, the spouses are pretty good ones of helping analyzing on what we should work. Because they are very close. They can see a lot of things. We cannot see on ourselves many things. Right? Just today, I called one of my friends and I told him, can you tell me what you see on me? What should I work on? Right? Because he told me a few days back if I can tell him. So I was thinking, well, must be fair that he should tell also me. Right? Or I ask sometimes my wife. This is not so easy, but I do. I do propose. I swear, you know. But it's not easy because ladies, they are very sharp on that, right? They are. Mitravinda, that's a compliment, okay? Ladies are good in that. So if we want to actually focus on Krishna, we have to be balanced in our life in all possible areas. That means this is what I was reading to you, this Ishopanishad, this 11 and 14, when it says that you should actually understand the material energy in order to understand spiritual. You cannot skip it. You cannot just understand spiritual and don't misunderstand or ignore completely this material. That means you have to live balanced life. You have to know what is material, how to use it, you know, because sorry, Prabhu, but we are in material, we are in the body, which is material energy. You want to escape it, okay, kill yourself, you know. Not possible, right? So in order to actually practice successfully bhakti yoga, you have to be balanced in your life. And that means also you have to work with your emotions. You cannot, and all of us, we are born with a disadvantage in this life. That's a reason. We are born in families where we were not treated well, or maybe we didn't get enough affection, or we didn't get affection as we expected to get. Whatever it is, as a child, we will create certain pattern. And then we carry this pattern. This pattern is usually created between 0 to 6 or 8 years of age. Somewhere there, this pattern is established. And then you carry this pattern for the rest of your life, unless you start to work on that, okay? So imagine you carry this pattern, you become, I don't know, 21, 25, 30, you meet devotees. Chant Hare Krishna, you will understand God, you will become happy, you will understand who, great. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Oh, I don't need to work on myself anymore. You idiot. This is the opportunity to work on yourself. That's the work. You are highly advantaged to work on yourself. Because people who doesn't have Krishna, people who doesn't have Mahamantra, they don't have association of devotees. For them to work on themselves, it's extremely difficult. It's possible also, but it's still within the material realm. They don't get the results. But you are highly advantaged. You get advice from Srila Prabhupada, what is the mode of goodness, how it looks like. So if you actually want to work on yourself, when you are in mode of goodness, it goes much easier, everything. And you think that because you are chanting Hare Krishna, you don't need to work on yourself? Srila Prabhupada said that if you want to meet with Krishna, he said Krishna is a fire. You have to acquire the same qualities. You have to become fire too. So imagine Krishna is perfect with his relation. Krishna is extremely balanced personality. He's the most balanced personality existing. And then you are approaching him with all your traumas and nonsense, and you don't want to work on those. I can give you an idea, right? Many people in this world and many people who are joining religious organizations, including ISKCON, are having victim syndrome. Others are guilty, right? I am not successful because, I don't know, I didn't get enough love from my mother. I didn't get money from my father. Therefore, I cannot open business, right? When I was in Ghana, I met one boy there. He was working as a maintainer of this hotel there, you know. And then he told me, you give me some money, I will open business. You think this works like that? You have to work your ass off. Then you can open business, right? That means you have to go through change. You have to go through transformation. Right? So if you want to meet the ultimate perfect human being, or let's say superhuman being, right? Krishna is above human beings, but he appears sometimes as a human being in this world, giving this idea that he looks like ordinary human being, but he's not. Right? So if you want to meet with Krishna, ultimate superhuman being, you have to become the same as him qualitatively. Because just imagine many people joining religious movements with victim syndrome. This is because of this, this is because of that, because of them, because of him, because of government, because of my karma, because of this, right? Just that I don't need to work on myself. And then you chant Hare Krishna, and then something happens to you in your life. What will be your reaction? It's because of Krishna. Krishna, why are you doing this to me? Do we think that this is a healthy relationship with Krishna? So I can see actually everything is connected. You cannot cut this material. Prabhupada is explaining that actually we have two swadharmas. That means two types of prescribed duties. Material swadharma, material prescribed duties, spiritual prescribed duties. Material prescribed duties is what is related to our body and mind, psychophysical conditioning, right? In our terms, we are calling it varnashrama. I don't want to go in varnashrama discussion. Many people in our movement absolutely confused what is varnashrama. No? I will mention a little bit, but let's break this down first. So we have to take care for this material aspect of our life. Then we have spiritual swadharma, prescribed duties. That's what Guru tells us, Krishna, Prabhupada, right? And we have to put those together. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that spiritual life is like a train. You have to run on both trails at the same times. You cannot just on one, right? And then naturally, as you will become more and more absorbing Krishna, automatically this material will become less important, and you will be handling them just as a backup, right? But in the beginning, when you are conditioned, you cannot imitate Rupa Goswami. Oh, Rupa Goswami was sleeping only 2 hours. Then, right? Rupa Goswami was eating every 3 days, you know, and like that, right? So we cannot make progress by imitation. And also, if we think that those devotees were not showing emotions, they were very emotional. You can read the descriptions, right? They were chanting and crying separation from Krishna. Usually when we are chanting, we are crying when the finally last round will come, right? I have enough for today.
I think Sanatana Goswami actually had to bribe a prisoner ward in order to escape. You know, so we have a Salika Prabhu stand up. So I believe, just like you're saying, we have to learn both material and spiritual in order to survive. Salika Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, for your deep explanation about connections between our emotions and devotion, duty. Especially, you touched something very interesting in the last 3 minutes of your explanation, talking about 2 types of duty, 2 types of swadharma. And the story is coming to my head. I'm trying to relate to personal life experience. when we look at Krishna Lila, Krishna played a lot of pranks in the battle, in the event leading to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Duryodhana was requested by Gandhari to come to him for naked. And according to Dharma or religious Muslim, a child should not go to the mother without in that kind of a state. So Duryodhana was being dharmic in his consciousness, in his duty.
Yeah.
And then Krishna met him on the road and said, "My dear, what are you doing? Your mom said you should do this and you're going to do that. You're going to be breaking principles." And then Duryodhana thinking in that way. And now, interesting point is that this is Krishna coming in between. It's not like somebody else. It's Krishna directly talking to him now. That Krishna is emphasizing Dharma to him. So, and then he followed that. And then at the end, that becomes the end, the destruction of Duryodhana. And when Balaram came during that battle between Bhimasena and Duryodhana, well, Balaram felt so disturbed, but he was saying, in the first place, Bhima, according to Shastra Dharma, two people of unequal capacity should not fight. But Duryodhana have an exceptional quality in terms of use of the instrument. Yeah. But Bhimasena is extremely very strong, but he doesn't have that much of. So according to that, two of them should not fight, because whatever they fight, both of them will be against Dharma, because according to Shastra Dharma, two people of the inequality should not be able to fight. So when you look at all of this drama, and then in relation to what you just said now, I'm starting to think in our devotional service, we're trying to, this is one thing, you said something very interesting. Most of the devotees in Krishna consciousness don't understand the implication or the understanding of Varnashram in relation to bhakti. And then so we have so much of a mess in our movement, in that we're trying to follow Varnashram Dharma in guidelines. We're trying to follow the four regulative principles, which is the main thing Prabhupada gives to us. We want to practice bhakti, Sudha bhakti, at the same time. So sometimes devotees get confused. So I need you to respond to all of this scenario that happens in our devotional life.
That's the point, that if you look, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Chatu Varna Mahasishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha, right? Krishna says that I created these varnas based on the modes of the nature. So this is something what we are. We are born with certain modes of nature. We have to little polish it as a devotees, right? We have to little tune it up, but actually that inclinations, if you look back, especially look when you were as a child, what you were inclined to do, right? So it was always there. Maybe it got a little covered in the educational system, or career ideas and society and like that, but actually these inclinations are always there. So actually what is Varna and Ashram? Do you see me, Prabhus? That's Varna and Ashram. I am Varna and Ashram. Sahadev Prabhu is Varna and Ashram. Salika Prabhu is Varna and Ashram. Mitravinda is Varna and Ashram. We are Varna and Ashram. Once you work on yourself and you will understand what is your psychophysical conditioning, you will start to act based on your Varna and consequently Ashram. Ashram can change in life several times, but Varna is more sticky, right? It can change also, but usually doesn't. Okay, so let's not go there. So when we start to live according our Varna, our environment will start to accept that also. So what we'll start to create is a Varnashrama environment. Varnashrama is not done that we will purchase the land, we will build our house, and we will start to create Varnashrama project. I'm sorry to say, Prabhus, but Varnashrama project was already done by Krishna. He says in Bhagavad Gita, I did that already. We have to find our place in Varna and Ashram, who we are, in what. And if you look, Prabhupada is saying that actually in spiritual life, actually first step is to analyze your psychophysical conditioning. Of course, we start to chant Hare Krishna, we do all things, but if you want to be actually properly situated in spiritual life, you will have to understand your psychophysical conditioning. Prabhupada says that's not easy task. This can be done with the help of spiritual master. So spiritual master is the one who will help you to analyze and to understand what is your psychophysical conditioning, how you should function the best, the most effective way for the long term. Right? Once you understand that, Prabhu, you will become natural because this is who you are according to this current birth. And you will actually become quite happy. Once you are content with yourself. And I will tell you one thing, Prabhus. You cannot love Krishna and hate yourself at the same time. You have to love yourself too. You know why? Because you are also Krishna. You're little, you see that? Little Krishna. Small particle, but you cannot hate small particle and love the big one. You have to love both. You understand that? First understanding comes from material platform, from Varna and Ashram. You cannot start from the depth. You have to come from the surface to the depth, right? So we chant Hare Krishna, we are trying to access depth, but it's very deep. So we have to understand through the surface. Okay, how the surface works. Okay, how my body works. How to do that I'm healthy and happy, right? How to do that I'm in good condition. How that I'm good mental state, right? That I'm good emotional. That I have good relationships. That I have actually that I love my wife and my wife is me, you know. And I have friends and I have around. I'm surrounded with devotees who loves me because when we meet together, we are happy to speak about Krishna. Not just grinding ISKCON politics and all other nonsense, which if you are not happy, you will be doing, right? So once you put this in everything in order, what else remains? Okay, let's chant Hare Krishna and let's speak about Krishna. Everything else is set, right? That doesn't mean we don't do chanting and hearing before that. But if you do it before that, it's very unsteady. Do you realize that? It's very volatile. Sometimes you want to chant, sometimes you don't want to chant, sometimes you want to have karma, sometimes you don't, right? Why? Because you are disbalanced. Once you become balanced, you can sit and discuss about Krishna 6 hours, no issues. Love it, right? So Varnashrama means actually to understand who we are, naturally. And for example, once I started to understand, now people coming to me for advice, they come to educate. I have like 10 study groups of devotees, right? I have also private practice that mentoring, not just for devotees, also for non-devotees, but even devotees are coming, right? Why? Because that's my profession. I help, I guide people, I advise them, right? I give them. So it's a Brahmanical section because that's what I like to do. That's what I'm confident. I like to do it. I can do it. I don't need to have a holiday. I can do this every day. I don't feel burdened by that. That's who I am in this body, right? So then it's much easier to chant holy name and speak about devotees, about Krishna with devotees. That's actually, and of course I'm coming from that angle of Varnashrama, from my spiritual master of who gave me this seed of understanding, of course, and he gave me also opportunity to expand on that idea, right? He always supported me in that I should always expand ideas. Then Krishna gave me intelligence, and I should work with that intellect. It's not here to not to use. It's not here to. It's here to use it, not here not to use it. Right? Is it okay, Sarki Prabhu? Microphone.
Yes, thank you very much. You spoke very wonderfully on the topic. Thank you so much. It's interesting, and I hope that we could have you on this platform sometimes to speak strictly on Vana and Ashram, because it's been a very topical topic on this forum. And I like your perspectives about Vana and Ashram, because for many devotees, Vana and Ashram means a lot of different things. And when we study Srila Prabhupada's book, Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Vana and Ashram, it is interesting that it doesn't align with what most people or most devotees understand with what Vana and Ashram is. And it gives me joy to hear your perspectives about Vana and Ashram. And just for the sake of time, because I know you explained earlier on, I would have liked to have a follow-up question, but maybe some other time. But I will look forward to, I'll start if people will contact you, and then maybe probably we can schedule a day, we'll speak strictly on Vana and Ashram, and then we can go deeper into this subject.
We can break it a little more down. There is in Upanishad, but you don't have time to that today. There is a whole section where Prabhupada is explaining this very nicely. But I just mention a few things. For example, Vanashrama is actually not the essential part of spiritual life. And it's not even integral part of bhakti. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it very clear to Ramananda Rai.
Exactly.
So that's clear. The point is that we are like a sick person, so we need we are like a with broken leg, right? So we need crutches. Once your leg will get fixed, you will not need crutches anymore. But the point is that Vanashrama is like a crutches. It's like a help, right? Because when you will create, I will give you like a bigger perspective, right? When Krishna wants to preach some philosophy, is he doing it abruptly, or he first creates environment? Krishna first creates environment. I give you an example, okay? When the Brahmanas were misusing Vedas, and they started to kill animals based on Vedic sacrifices, but they wanted to eat meat, actually. They were abusing Vedas. Krishna didn't come to convince them, you are doing it all wrong. No. Krishna came as a Buddha, right? And he said, you know what? Forget about the Vedas. It's nonsense. Just sit quiet, meditate, don't harm anyone, just be satisfied with yourself, right? He gave Buddhism. Right? Because he knew, okay, let me change their mentality. But to change generations and generational structure and systematic, even Krishna doesn't find a system. Do you see that? He took 2,500 years to change it. Then came, what is his name? Oh, no, my name slipped.
Madhvacharya.
No, impersonalist. The main one. Oh, come on, Prabhu. I slipped out of my mind.
Shankaracharya.
Shankara, thank you. Who was that?
Shankaracharya.
So then Shankaracharya came. What he did, he re-established Vedas. Right? But still, he was preaching more or less same philosophy as Buddha. Everything is one. Buddha was preaching everything is nothing. It's the same thing, actually, ultimately, But already he was preaching on the Vedas. Then came Madhvacharya, later on Ramanujacharya, and they established not only impersonal, but also personal feature of the Lord, right? So now we already have both. Then came later on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who established, well, it's not just the Lord, but also Radharani, right? And then, of course, Jivas, Tatashta Shakti, and all these things, right? Make it more clear. So Krishna took 2,500 years. He prepared an environment that he can come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and finally reveal the Madhurya Ras. Krishna can do it anytime, but still, he took a time. So, Prabhus, if we want to practice successfully spiritual life, we have to create environment for us. That's Varnashrama. It's just the environmental surroundings where we can easily practice spiritual life. That's it. So if you live in harmony with yourself, you will be in harmony with others. You can practice very easily spiritual life, because then you will sit in the morning and you will really absorb yourself in the holy name. tomorrow because you don't have money, right? Or these devotees are useless because they are doing this politics, and you will not be any of these. But if you are not balanced, sometimes devotee coming to me, oh Prabhu, I'm already practicing so long, I'm not making progress. I ask them, Prabhuji, how many hours of like a good solid Krishna Katha per week do you have? Well, like every week at least like 2 hours, Prabhu. How many hours has week? Right? Like 170, 168 hours. So let's say you're a really tired person, we sleep half, okay. You know, so over around 90 hours, let's say 100 hours of week, you have time. And from this, you spend like good Krishna Katha 2 hours, and you surprise you are not making spiritual progress? Right? And of course, but if you don't have peace of mind, you will not be interested in Krishna Katha. You will be solving your issues, your problems.
Prabhuji, I have one concern. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I know your time is kind of fast spent, but initially when you were talking, you were talking about how the sannyasis were related with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you were singing and dancing. That is not what sannyasis do. You have to be serious and logic. So we in ISKCON don't believe in rhetoricism. We don't believe in it. Even though we don't believe in rhetoric philosophy, but we also encourage it. We encourage it in the sense that we understand from the scriptures that one has to go to Krishna through his spiritual master. And here in ISKCON, as it is today, one is not even allowed to place his spiritual master's photo on the altar to do arati. What is more rhetoricism than that? So what do? When we say we hate rhetoricism, but at the same time, knowingly or unknowingly, we're encouraging it in our system. What do?
So Hare Prabhu, Krishna have spoken. You know what is interesting? Today morning during the shower, it came to my mind that actually, that's what you are saying, similar thing. Today morning, I'm not lying, Prabhuji. I actually wanted to call my good friend Bila Purushottam and discuss this with him. I just didn't have because I had crazy day. So I didn't, but I wanted to call him today. I told him, I have breaking idea. Listen, we are against ritualism, but actually what we practice in ISKCON is pure Ritvikism. How many devotees have been recommended for initiation to their guru by someone else than their guru? What is that, Prabhu?
Yeah.
This is Ritvik. Your guru doesn't know you. Someone else is recommending you to him. In the name of what? Right? Srila Prabhupada did that, yeah. He was the unique acharya who was establishing completely new thing in crazy world. But we cannot have this practice next 50 years after he left. That's Ritvik. You get initiation from someone, but actually guidance you are getting completely somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's Ritvik.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to break down too much into detail, Ritvik. But actually, if you worship Krishna, yeah, I know what you mean. That the picture of a guru can be like a down on the plate with a paraphernalia. It cannot be like on the altar. I don't know. Sure. I don't know what to tell you, sorry, bro. I know that you are right. I can't do. Yeah.
Prabhuji.
And when you said that, I was thinking like, oh my God, Krishna speaking. Because I was just today in shower, I was taking shower, thinking like, wait a second, like majority of people in our movement, they don't even know their guru properly. They're
No.
getting guided and nurtured by completely someone else, and then they have to get diksha from someone else. Then what is that?
Yeah.
Why they cannot get diksha of that person which is getting nourished from? Why this is not fully encouraged? It is kind of officially it is approved, but in practice doesn't happen, right? Because that many things in this world are approved, but you cannot do it because it's not socially acceptable. Is it true?
Mhm.
Yes, Sarif Prabhu. I believe in your home you will do as you wish.
Well, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I mean,
You sounded like vanilla ice cream to us as children, and we want to enjoy you more and more. It's so beautiful to have you, Prabhuji. And like Salika Prabhu was,
you know what is interesting, Sarif Prabhu?
yeah,
Everything is in Prabhupada books.
everything.
Absolutely everything.
Yeah.
All ideas which I was today taking, and purposely I do that I read from here and I that. Everything is in Prabhupada books.
Yeah.
Our problem is in our movement, we don't study them.
That's our problem.
I got as a seva to study Prabhupada books and teach them others. I got this as a service. So I'm forced. Thank you, Krishna, that you forced me. So I know many of them very good, especially basic ones like Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction. I know them really good. It's not pride. I just did it like, I don't know, I did Bhakti Shastri like 20 times, right? Because I teach it. So devotees, they think, oh, no, you do it 20 times, you will also know, don't worry, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I see that we have so many people in our movement that they don't understand our philosophy. They don't study proper books. They read twice a week.
Before we leave, Srima Acharya Prabhuji, do you have something to share before we leave for today? Prabhuji has to.
Saha, open the picture I put in the chat, please. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. In fact, sorry, I wanted to share that also. Let me see. Yeah, Mitravinda shared some beautiful picture here to highlight something.
Yes, Mitravinda, they don't give. I just had the case when one Vaishnavi, she's coming to my sanghas and she didn't get recommendation, I mean.
Yeah, so probably initially you were talking about how the Varna is kind of shaped within the first 1 to 6 or 8 years, and then we carry that along with us. So Mitravinda Devi shared this with us.
This is very nice, Mitravinda. Where you got it from? This is your work?
Mitravinda,
I'm a psychology major, long-standing, starting in the 90s at Trinity University. And so I have 2 children by the grace of Radha and Krishna and my ex-husband's input. And now that they're older, my daughter's 3rd year university, my son's graduated just recently from high school and going to college. I am continuing. So this is some of the research information that I have based on developmental psychology and child psychology, relatable to the traumas and different ways of being that we have and see in temples with people with high positions or people on the introductory practicing level that can be very disruptive but are ignored. At the same time, how are we dealing with this? Compassion, yes, but absolutely, we just don't allow children to run amok with a knife, in a classroom. You know what I mean? There has to be some intervention, hopefully based and rooted in wellness and the practice of bhakti, but absolutely with a stand that we can't let this continue, and hopefully inspiring love at the same time.
You should study. I mean, you should look in the work of Dr. Stanislav Grof and his explanation of wars and violence in humans' history based on traumas
Yes.
from
Yes.
childbirth and childhood and all these things, how it is
Yes.
projected in great leaders, which they were actually pretty much nutcases.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted
History
to
is
say,
not exception.
yeah, it's not, definitely. And actually, I'll be honest with you, from a perspective that, and not a criticism in any way, it's just in every way, places of great value and beauty and love seem to attract those who have suffered, and they can see it's a pull for them. It's a need. They want to come in. They'll do anything to get in. And unfortunately, when they get in, sometimes we, hand over the golden, door, and then we're stuck with a lot of trauma, um, integrated into what should be learning and beauty. But I mean, when you spoke of, like, birth is actually not just birth, conception is traumatic. It may be enjoyable, but it's traumatic.
Well, it's traumatic
Because
for a child also. We are, as a living entity, we are conscious all the time.
yeah, yeah,
If you let's say if you are a conceiving child and you actually don't want that child, the child will carry that pattern already.
exactly. That's why every aspect of samskara is important. I insisted on it. I had the advanced, and I'll say, I had the blessings of my guru to study things before I got married, before I had vivaha. And he allowed me to study deeply on the level that most men study different things. But being in a woman's body, my consciousness about everything, because everything has to be willing for the mother, because she is the one that will carry. So
Actually,
just think,
you'll be surprised, but father's consciousness during samskara is equally important.
oh no, I'm not minimizing that. Please don't misunderstand. I'm just saying, father's consciousness, and not just his consciousness, what he eats, what he drinks, what he hears, everything about that will be interjected. So just some information that most of us don't know and don't hear, because they don't have the opportunity to read that much or as deeply, or I don't know what it is, but it's not common knowledge that the soul is carried in the semen of the male body, the soul.
Yes.
So it means when the father chants, the father sees the deity, this calling in this soul that has such a foundation. Do you understand? They say good children, right? And then that goes into the mother, and the mother develops the body.
Yeah.
But then she also nurtures what happens next,
Yes.
because what she eats affects the body of this being, and that affects the consciousness, etc. So it's teamship.
Yes.
And the more the young people know about this, the better. And also, the woman has to have the conception that I wanted children years, and they had names and everything years before conception, years before betrothal, years. And then, some scars should happen at each step, because that's important. So yeah, just if mother is not wanting to have a baby, and she has a baby and she feels some kind of way, that affects the consciousness of the fetus. If a woman is not even supposed to be made to cry, this is in Shastra. Father should protect that mother from his parents, from society. She should not hear anything that makes her feel bad or sad, or he should never make her feel bad or sad. He should never raise his voice. These are things in Shastra about relating to the things that could traumatize a jiva
Yes.
from the beginning. So these things are not studied, and they should be. I'm available if anyone wants to talk about that, or I guide my children futuristically for what is next, and I've done that age appropriately from since they were tiny and could understand me about everything. And everyone who's considering marriage or just young people in general should have this information. Hare Krishna.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Ravindra Devi. And TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, thank you so much. I was trying to get His Grace Shrimavara Prabhu to see if he has something to share
Yes,
before.
please.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Jai Krishna, Shamambo Besansis. Well, it's very wonderful hearing Prabhu, discussing so many points in a very radical way. And I must say that I am one of those who postulate as a Varnashram Dharmi, one who wants to establish Varnashram and who speaks about it very strongly. I think we have a point of connection. Anyway, like Salika Prabhu said, maybe one day we can get together and discuss this very in details. So thank you very much for sharing your opinion. Most of them are very, very practical and very radical. But we will need to talk more later on in a very serious manner. Thank you very much. I enjoyed listening to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, sir, for this.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So, Shri TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, you are so sweet in so many ways because you bear one of the names of my Gurudev, Tirtha. My Gurudev is Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And dear devotees, we're going to humbly, before we do that, TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, do you have any concluding remarks before we close?
Yes, please study regularly Srila Prabhupada books and meet together with your friends and discuss about Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. So dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker for today, His Grace, TIRTHAKARA Prabhu, sharing his love and wisdom with us all. Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Kalpa Taruya,
Kripa Sindhu Bhayabhya, Nitanam Dhamanebhyo, Vaishnavam Namo Namaha.
Nama. His Grace TIRTHAKARA Prabhu ki
Jai.
Hare Krishna
His
Prabhu.
co-founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Bro,
Holiness Kadama Karana Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Maharaj was here.
Thank you so much.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Ram, Hare